we have a special guest here today. It's going to be the one-man band. One-man band. I want to ask you a question. One of the many questions I have for this episode but I hid it from everybody. I didn't want to put it out there. I'm going to ask you this question.
All right.
Who is the Doink the Clown of this era?
Oh, man. It's a couple controversial picks there, but I'm going to say that the guy, to me, that is Doink the Clown personified in the modern era is the Bunny.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TFS POD, otherwise known as the Few Show Podcast. This is 24/7 Lou, and that's...
It's Ric-Hard. What's going on?
Yes, and today we have a special guest, the one-man band.
What's going on, man? What's the undisputed one-man band?
Undisputed.
Quit rubbing it in. Quit rubbing it in.
Oh,
sorry. Hey, man.
He's got kids, okay?
I don't yet, but I don't know. Maybe I do. I don't know.
So our special guest that we're having, if you've heard the last three segments, which you really should, it's who is the blank of this era. Before we get to all the other names we're going to go on the list for that we have, I want to have everyone check out the Few Show's YouTube channel. Of course, this is the A Show, but you can check out the stuff that Captain Bogey has put out there with interviews at SPW. Check out all those interviews he has on there. Very good interviews. Very, very fun time we had out there with SPW. Once we get out of all this mess, we'll keep on going to SPW and getting more interviews. So yeah, I invite everyone to go check out the Few Show's channel and check out the other interviews from Captain Bogey and with Jay Few. And even we had a Big Al do an interview on there too. So yeah, check all that stuff out from our family here on 24/7 Miami and the Few Show. So here we go. Let's ask this question right now. Let's continue the list we're going through. We're going to go with Ravishing Rick Rude, Alundra Blauze, and the Rockers. So first off, I'm going to ask the one-man band. Who is the Ravishing Rick Rude of this era?
All right, Ravishing Rick Rude. Now, I know that this is a pretty enigmatic character on this one, but I'm going to go... I had two people in mind, but I think I'm going to give the edge slightly to Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode, I know, didn't start out his career... He started with TNA, but he was Beer Money, and he was the drunken guy. He had the little mullet going on in the background, but when he came to WWE, he had his glorious persona.
Yeah.
And Rick Rude was very unabashed in the late 80s, was coming out with the painted, with the airbrushed tights, with the spandex tights rather, and just showing off the body and telling the ladies, you want to see a piece of a real man. And Bobby the Brain Heenan was basically his mouthpiece, even though he didn't need a mouthpiece. Rick Rude was a great guy that could speak. Heelish persona the whole time. Bobby Roode, mostly heel. Very, very narcissistic as the glorious persona. Coming out with the robe and even with the music, glorious. And Rick Rude had a kind of a pretty crazy entrance at the beginning too. Only thing that Rick Rude has over Bobby Roode, at least in the eyes of WWE, is that Bobby Roode has not held the major championship as far as the world championship. Rick Rude has. Not in WWE, but he held it in WCW. I think Bobby Roode did hold the title in TNA. And he did in NXT. You're right, absolutely. Yes, he did. Thank you. That's right. That was a good feud.
Yeah, he held it for a while.
That was a great. Yeah, he beat Nakamura, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, he beat Nakamura, if I'm not mistaken. So, but yeah, there you go. But as far as in the main show, has not attained the title yet. Will he? I don't know. I know he's past 40 right now. I'd love to see it, but unfortunately, he has surpassed Rick Rude in lifespan. Rick Rude was 40 years old when he passed.
Ooh.
So he's got that over him. But both, very, very egotistical. They've kept on that route. So that's gonna be my pick. I'm gonna go with Rick Rude. With Bobby Roode. And he even has the
same last name.
Yeah, so there you go. How about that?
All right, and then okay, now Ric-Hard, who do you have?
Well, while it could have been the easy route to pick the same guy with pretty much nearly the same last name and at one point the same mustache.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. Oh my God, they were pushing that. So
I could have
hard.
gone that. I could have gone the easy route on that.
I didn't even think about that.
I'm gonna go with Dolph Ziggler on this.
That was gonna be my other one.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler. So you got the brash. No, if you want to talk about brash, well, Dolph Ziggler's literal thing is just I'm the show off. So
Yeah.
and you know, he was recently dating Mandy Rose,
Yeah.
AJ Lee. Definitely has it well established that he's a ladies' man. And if you want to take it a step further, Rick Rude was at one point a manager for or part of the team that was DX,
Yes. Yes.
and helping a very brash Shawn Michaels, who was very, very disliked at the time. Nothing could be more comparable to the three-man crew of Rick Rude, Triple H, a young Triple H, and Shawn Michaels, to Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, and Robert Roode.
Oh my God.
because as hated as Shawn Michaels was in the '90s, I think we can easily say Baron Corbin got to those levels of heat also.
Yeah. God, you're right. God.
And to top it all off, they both held the big gold belt,
They
also
did.
known as the former WCW title.
They did. That was I was gonna go that route for that reason, but I went Bobby Roode because I wanted to try to do a little something different. But that's a good one.
That's
You
a
got
good
lost in the mustache. You got lost
Yeah.
in the mustache. It's okay.
Yeah, it was. The mustache.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing that's missing. The facial hair. Dolph
Yeah.
Ziggler was like, I don't need facial hair. He's the modern era.
Yeah.
All right. That was a good one. All right,
was a
so
good one.
next question.
It's all right. You'll get me on the other ones. Trust me.
I'm going to start with you, Ric-Hard. We're going to start off with who is the modern day Alundra Blauze of this era?
All right. So, if I'm being honest, I couldn't really. It was difficult to come up with this one. So, you're probably not gonna. Okay. It's not gonna be a strong one, but hear me out.
Are we stretching again?
Sasha Banks. We're definitely stretching.
Oh, you kidding me? I was gonna say that one.
Oh!
No way. No.
All right.
way.
So I'll just.
No, take
Sasha Banks.
it. Take it. Yeah.
So you probably got
Convince me.
better you probably got better reasoning than I do. So Sasha Banks, for starters, Sasha Banks, her I say first run. Really, I'm using the dividing point of WrestleMania 35 when she threw that temper tantrum and took her ball and went home.
Yes.
I'm using that as the division line.
I hate you, bro. I hate you.
Oh, just you wait for the next comparison.
God. All right.
Keep on. Come on, try to convince me. I'm not there yet.
When you think of Alundra Blauze, she's most well known for taking the women's title to WCW and dropping it in the trash can on live television. If you really think about it, with Sasha Banks, at the level of tantrum that she supposedly threw backstage at WrestleMania, I could see her going on AEW if she had the chance and dropping the women's title on live television to repeat that moment.
Yeah.
Definitely. She's got the same, like, I'm a boss, somewhat entitled persona. I think Alundra Blauze could have reached that point. And she's actually a very good in-ring technician, just like Alundra Blauze was.
Yes.
That's my basis for comparison.
Yeah.
All right, I like it. Now, what were you going to say, one-man band?
Literally, what Ric-Hard just said, to the T.
Wow.
To the T. Like capital T, not even lowercase T. Like, right on the dot. Like, my God. And you, like, I think you read my mind, bro. But literally, yeah, WrestleMania 35, like, that was where I was basing it. Where she had that temper tantrum and took her ball and ran home with it because, you know, she was upset about the whole tag team, losing the tag team belts. And I really feel that if she would have been the women's champion at the time, I really feel that she would have done the AEW route. I think she would have been the spiteful, just to say, hey, I'm the boss. and I run this show. I really think that she would have done that because she has that you know, that type of, she exudes that kind of, I do what I want. And Alundra Blauze was very much like that during that time. She was so upset that she left, like Ric-Hard said, and went to WCW in the infamous throwing the title in the trash and Nitro. It was one of the first episodes, actually. She did all that. And matter of fact, they're actually friends, funny enough. Alundra Blauze and Sasha Banks are friends. They actually talk a lot on Instagram. And I see, you know, Alundra Blauze comments on Sasha Banks all the time. So oddly enough, like that was where I came up with it. But you hit it right on the head, man.
Hey, what can I say? Great minds think alike.
Yeah, it gotta be, man.
All right, and before we go to our next comparison, I want to remind everyone you're listening to TFS POD, the Few Show podcast. This is 24/7 Lou. That's Ric-Hard, and our special guest today is the One Man Band, and we're talking about who is the blank of this era. So now we're going to start again with actually no, we're going to go with the One Man Band to start off this question. Who is the rockers of this era?
Okay, so I know we talked about it on earlier, but is it okay? Is it possible that I can go away from WWE for this one, or do I have to stick to WWE?
It's fine.
Okay, so in that case, for me, I think this is probably going to be an easy one. But
are we stretching here? Because I need to get comfortable.
I don't think so, but the Young Bucks.
Oh, okay.
When you know.
Oh, I'm gonna need convincing on that one. But
okay,
go ahead.
So think about this. Now, of course, there is no Marty Jannetty syndrome going on here. Matt and Nick Jackson are both very, very good in-ring technicians. There's not one that carries the other. They're both very in sync. Not to say that the Rockers were not in sync during their time. Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels were great together. But obviously, you know what happened with them two when they split up. The Young Bucks have never split up. They have never been. They have had singles competitions, but they have been a tag team most of their life. Even when they were in TNA as Generation Meat. They look at the way they dress. They dress almost the same way. I mean, they have the tassels. They have the jackets.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Young Bucks are, of course, way more decorated than the Rockers were ever. Rockers did win the title. The Rockers won the title in a house show, but it was never counted against the Hart Foundation, no less. This was like in 1990, if I'm not mistaken, and they were never decorated in the eyes of the WWE fandom. Young Bucks have held countless gold, and they just have that style. They're high flyers. You know, they're very acrobatic. They have an arsenal of movesets. They both brash the long hair. You know, they're not super tall, but they're athletic, built. You know, but yeah, it just, I feel like they're perfect. The perfect comparison, in my opinion.
I like it. Are you convinced, Ric-Hard?
I think the two major points that I needed convincing on was, can I see them splitting up and one of them really surpassing the other in singles competition?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I see when I look at Young Bucks, I see a tag team, and they mesh well as a tag team.
All right, so the question is for you now.
And you need the Marty Jannetty syndrome, which is what I leaned on heavily when I made my comparison.
Okay, so what is your comparison? Who are the Rockers of this era?
Now, Lou, do you have your yoga mat ready?
Oh, oh no! Oh no!
All right, so when I think of the Rockers,
getting ready.
So when I think of the Rockers, I think one person who went on to shine on to stardom and one who became an afterthought, right? So what better tag team illustrates this than the legendary tag team of the modern era?
Oh, no.
And we all know who we're talking about here because you remember this moment. It's a great moment. I'm talking about the tag team that you can never forget. Braun Strowman and Nicholas.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I mean, come on, man. Braun Strowman went on to win major titles. He's currently Universal Champion. Where's Nicholas now? Exactly, he's in school. And how could you not remember? How can you not remember how that tag team split up when Braun Strowman walked over to General Manager Kurt Angle and said, "My tag team partner has to go back to school. We have to relinquish the tag titles." It's basically a mirror image of Shawn Michaels putting Marty Jannetty through the barbershop window.
Folks, leave a comment. Leave a comment.
Okay. That was a joke. Though the comparison is apt. I wanna see someone argue me on that, but I'm gonna make a more apt comparison.
Okay.
More serious comparison. No, I'm just kidding. It was no. No. Okay. Here we go. Sheamus and Cesaro. So Sheamus, just like Shawn Michaels, his finisher is a kick to the face, right? Yeah. Just like Shawn Michaels, Sheamus is a former WWE champion, multiple-time WWE champion, actually.
Okay.
And just like Shawn Michaels, Sheamus. This is the best argument ever. Sheamus, out of the two, when you look at Cesaro and you look at Sheamus is definitely the one you would look at in that team and go, yeah, he's a sexy boy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And Marty Jannetty, he had an Intercontinental title run. What title did, if I'm not mistaken, Cesaro win?
He won a few, actually.
He won a couple mid-card titles, yeah, but he never won the big one.
That's true.
So
that is very true.
That is what I'm going to go with the basis of comparison. Now, obviously, I'm leaning heavily on how they performed individually versus how they performed as a team. But I think Sheamus and Cesaro had good tag team tandem, just as much as Braun Strowman and Nicholas, if we're being honest.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, hey, Nicholas and Braun Strowman are undefeated, so they do have that.
There you go.
Oh my god, you're buying into this stuff too.
Well, I mean,
and there you go. That's my argument.
My only counterpoint to that, if I can interject, with the whole Sheamus and Cesaro, I agree with you. I think that's actually a great pick. The only thing that I look at is that, think about this, Sheamus and Cesaro, both of them are great competitors. I mean, they are not, like, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, while they were both great competitors, the moment they got separated, Marty Jannetty flopped. He floundered. And it wasn't his fault, partially. I mean, yeah, it was partially his fault. He had some substance abuses and stuff. But...
Alleged.
Alleged. That's alleged. You're right. Cesaro had a couple of runs with the U.S. title, a couple of runs with the Intercontinental title, won a couple of tag team titles, too. And I feel like the only reason why he didn't win the gold, the big one, is because it was a top-heavy scene at that time. You had Daniel Bryan was really starting to pick up a lot of steam during that time. I know that they paired Cesaro with Paul Heyman, but I think he got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, I remember that.
He did.
Yeah, he got lost in the shuffle because shortly after then they got Ryback as a client, and then it was kind of like, what, why is Ryback as a Paul Heyman guy? Like, nothing against Ryback, but I just didn't see championship material in Ryback. And, I really think that if they would have stuck to Cesaro being managed by Paul Heyman, I really think, let's put it like this. If this were 3 years after, I think Cesaro might have had a chance. Because instead of putting Jinder Mahal as the champ, which I understand why they did it, and it makes sense in hindsight, well, and even at that moment. But let's say if you would have slotted Cesaro in that time, Cesaro could have easily been a champion during that time. Easily. And I feel like he would have ran with it. But, that's a what if at this moment. So that's just the way I look at it.
All right.
Look, all I'm saying is, at the end of this segment, we're all gonna dial 1-800-FELLA, okay?
Sheamus 515.
There you go. It's a collect call.
Yeah.
All right. So I have one last question.
But before you do that, Lou, how about the fun fact of the segment?
Go for it.
Of a certain one-man band who's not on the show yet. Fun fact number 6 of Heath Slater. Heath Slater won more matches than The Undertaker in 2014.
Yeah, he did. God.
You know what? I have one last question. I'm gonna put the tables on. You ready?
All right.
Who is the Heath Slater of the 80s era?
Ooh.
Nobody could be the Heath Slater, because Heath Slater is the one-man band. Hit the guitar.